Hello there, folks. It's me, Michael Bach, your University Dude, and it's time for another episode of Monday Morning Musings. So one of the biggest questions we get at this time of year is whether or not it's okay to say Merry Christmas versus Happy Holidays. And not surprisingly, I have an opinion on this. Over the past sort of 30 to 40 years, I think the pendulum has swung really far to the politically correct side of the spectrum, where people and organizations go out of their way to not say Merry Christmas in fear of offending somebody who isn't Christian. But I think that actually becomes exclusionary for Christians and makes them feel like they're wrong for wanting to celebrate this holiday. And so I say this: if you're Christian, you can say Merry Christmas, as long as you recognize that you may be saying it to somebody who isn't Christian. So I'm not going to talk about the holiday of Christmas. It's a statutory holiday until the government of Canada does something about rotating statutory holidays. Hint, hint, Ottawa. We have no choice but to provide that as a statutory holiday, whether you're Christian or not. Fine. I'm also not going to discuss whether or not the man known as Jesus Christ, and there was a human being historically known as Jesus Christ, whether or not he was actually born in December. If you ever want to have a good read, there's an article. If you just Google, when was Jesus actually born? You will find a great historical scholarly article on the evidence that shows that he was probably born sometime in the spring or fall. Keeping in mind that at the time, we didn't have what we now know as the calendar, so dates shifted. So anyway. The reality is that some people in the world are Christian and some people are not. Fine. However, we also have a couple other major religious holidays, religious and cultural holidays that are celebrated in December. The first, of course, is Hanukkah, which Sag Shemesh, it actually starts tomorrow on the 12th of December. And then, of course, Kwanzaa, which is a traditional African holiday, and that starts on the 26th of December. So to some extent, you want to be careful that you're not alienating the Christians, but you're also not alienating anybody else. My rule of thumb is very simple. You can say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. If you want to put up a Christmas tree, that's fantastic. But you should also be putting up a menorah. In a previous lifetime, any of our offices that wanted to put up a Christmas tree, I said, no problem. I will send you a menorah. It's an electronic menorah, so you didn't have to worry about fire. And I would send instructions on how to light it. It didn't matter whether anyone in the office was Jewish. What mattered was that we were sending a message that we were inclusive of all people. Kwanzaa, unfortunately, happens starting on Boxing Day, so there was no way for us to necessarily acknowledge that. But there are ways to do it with visuals that just recognize that not everybody in the world is Christian. I'm a Buddhist. I consider Christmas Day to be the day when people just give me stuff, and I have no responsibility otherwise. I'm kidding, of course. But everyone celebrates this day differently. The reality is that it is the holiday season, that we're going to have some time off, that some people will be celebrating the birth of Christ, and some people won't. And just remembering that not everybody in the world thinks the same. So don't stress about it. It's not that big a deal. Just be inclusive of all people. That's it for me. I hope you're having a fabulous December. I'm thinking it's going to snow at some point. We'll see. Remember to subscribe to my channel. It's very important. You should subscribe to my channel. There's something here that you can click on. I don't know where it is. And I will see you next week for another episode, for my final episode of 2017 of Monday Morning Musings. Later.